So there's already a bunch of videos about some DIY projects and stuff like that. I'm going to kind of show you something like professionally. So none of this stuff is going to be economical. It's more result driven. So, you know, all the stuff that you're going to see here, not everyone's going to have. And I'm really not telling you there's alternate stuff, because there probably is. But professionally, to get the great results that I'm trying to get, I'm going to use all the stuff that I have. I was a painting contractor for 10 years, a long time ago. So this is the first time I've done some of this finishing in a long time, but let's see, my techniques still hold true. So the first thing is prep, and that means, you know, getting the area ready for you to do what you're going to do. So we're going to take a mirror that I bought from a consignment store and try to make it something that I want in my house. And not to say it's not a nice mirror, it's just that it's not customized to something that I like. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to protect the area that we're going to work in. So I have these old drop cloths, and I don't know if you can tell on the camera that only one side is clean and one side has paint on it. When you first get a drop cloth, mark which side is up, because well, professionally, when we go into people's houses, you can't have any paint on the bottom, because then when you roll it across hardwood floors, it'll scratch their floor. Or if we cover like some of the furniture, you don't want any of this paint to act like sandpaper and damage more than what you're trying to do. Oh, cover the area with the drop cloth. And then I'm going to put a tarp down, which I know it won't protect against the, what do you call it, the paint stripper. It'll probably melt it, but I like to have some kind of plastic or and if you got some cardboard. Festool portable work stand. Been really enjoying this. It's quite a bit of money, but worth every penny so far. I'm going to cover this because I don't want my stuff all to customers' houses. So there we go. We got the and all right. So I got this mirror from a consignment store. I don't know how much of this mirror you can see, but I really liked. It's very difficult to get something round like this to be perfect, and I enjoyed the metal because the metal matches my my door hardware, which just will reside by it. The only thing I didn't like is the color of the stain. Not that there's anything wrong with having stained this color, it's just that for many years I've stained things this color, and for me, I just want something different. I gotta do a little bit of a surgery here. This is not working. It broke off. So we're gonna take this apart so that we can get to the wood easier and strip it and not damage any of the metal. And so we're going to take apart this clutch. a mirror. Let's see if that's all right. Okay, this is Wood's Power Grip N5450. It's a 9-inch vacuum suction cup with case. Okay, here we go. So we got the glass. We'll clean up the glass before we put that back in there. I gotta. All right, you gotta keep the. It's always better to keep it in the box just because it doesn't get dirty, and it'll work really well for really a lifetime. It's great for putting in windows too. All right, so now we're gonna take the metal band off the perimeter. Just in case anybody was wondering, we got it from Consignment store, $39. That was 41. We'll take that off. We'll probably end up polishing that later before we put it back on. Now let's see what we got. Wow, it's much lighter. Okay. It's strange because it looks, yeah, it looks like foam. All right, well, now we know why it was so cheap. So I'm looking out for the glue, and I'm just I was hoping this mirror was going, or this frame was going to be solid wood, but I guess what do you want? Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. No wonder the hanger didn't stick on there. It's like foam, and how are you just going to screw into foam? Wow, that's crazy. Okay, let's see what we got, what we're working with. You can see that this is foam, and then this is the real wood. So thin. So I bought a scraper kit. I got 2 disposable brushes, and then this nylon brush, which is good because it's hard to get in those little nooks and crannies. And then I got, of course, Jasco Premium Paint and Epoxy Remover. Good thing we covered the floor. Okay, so safety's probably number 1 here. Actually, it is number 1. Kind of funny, when after so many years of doing construction, I signed myself up for a Cal OSHA class. And it was funny because they showed all the videos and stuff of the Cal OSHA and what to look for and what people should be careful not to do, and it was pretty much a manual of everything that we used to do in construction. We used to go up on the top rung of the ladders. We used to do, I mean, It was just get the job done. I guess now I know what not to do. I'm gonna change the way I do things a little bit. So really I should have some newspaper underneath here because it'll absorb some of the fluid or the paint stripper and the lacquer thinner that I'm going to use. I just don't have newspaper anymore, man. I got a couple more pieces. All right, we'll just do this and then rotate it section at a time. Oh, that's why you put the goggles on. Ooh, that's some ripe smelling stuff there. We'll start out with that. Ooh, that is really stinky. Get some fresh air in here in a few minutes. It's already starting to work. See, the modern finishes nowadays are all water-based. This looks pretty, doesn't look that old. So it's not like I'm trying to take off shellac or any kind of lacquer. Looks like a waterborne finish, so it just sits on the surface. Jeez, that's coming off so fast. Oh, I can tell you that stuff stinks, man. I used to not be able to smell it from years of doing it. Now, oh, now I can smell it again. I like to use some lacquer thinner and steel wool, and that kind of melts what's left over. Deactivates the stripper at the same time. So we have these are Mohawk products. It's stain, dye, and stain. So we're gonna go with to make green, we're gonna go yellow and blue. So let's try and see what we can do with this. Can't get the lid off. All right. We are going to start with, let's try 100 milliliters of the yellow. No, we'll do 50. No, I better do 100. There's 100. 100 milliliters of the yellow. Now we're going to see, we're going to add a retardant too, because otherwise with the it's going to harden too quick. So we're going to go with just a little bit of retardant. And then we're going to go with blue. And we're going to see how we can get just a little bit of blue. All right, let's see what we got. No, it's still, that's close. Okay, so well, the idea of glazing is that you let like a little layer tack up and dry a little bit, and then you brush lighter coats on top of it. But it's kind of like an art, because if this stuff starts getting gummy or reactive, it'll start pulling up what it already put down, and then you'll end up with a pretty much a mess. This is not even close to normal. I wonder if I should even try to wipe it. Make it look like stain. The stain that I put on it had to dry, and then I had to take I took this it's a stain rag, which means it doesn't have any fibers that come off, and I kind of rubbed it a little bit to get the color kind of as consistent, because you know it's not absorbing into the thing. I'm gonna use this Mohawk pre-catalyzed sanding sealer. Anyway, it's kind of part of their system, so I'm going to use this to spray on there. Normally I buy quartz and I have a HVLP sprayer, but because this thing is pretty small, and I'm not going to hook up that whole thing to just do this one piece. Plus I have to kind of make a spray booth with that other device, where this, I'm just going to spray it out of a can. Put this coat on. Some of the easiest way to get an idea of how to spray with the can is to just aim for the corners. The flat part's going to get hit. I am glad that I got to save it from the junkyard. So in a sense, gave it a little bit more life so it doesn't end up being garbage. All right, so that's it on this one. So I'm going to turn it upside down, give it a couple shots, and that'll clean out the nozzle. I'll give a close-up of the wood. It's got some interesting grain in it, which is nice. It gives it some character. So again, this is just sanding sealer, so this is not going to be the shiny, it's not a shiny finish that I'm going for. It's a matte finish. So this is just glossy because of the wetness of the product. All right, we gave it some time to dry, and now we'll put another light coat on it. It looks pretty uniformed. Pretty happy about that. I'm glad it dried. All right, I think that's, and I'm totally high. Woo, this stuff's really cleaning out the nozzle. So now all we do is go ahead and we have to lightly sand this. Now this is a sanding sealer, so it's got a little bit of a grit in it in itself, which kind of amplifies the sanding. All right, feels pretty good. All right, get rid of the dust. So we're going to take out this tack cloth. And we'll just clean it, get in the grooves. I like to use gloves when I use this thing. This thing's kind of gross feeling, sticky. Keep flipping it over. Okay, so I like to put just 2 light coats, and that's pretty much all it's needed. It's really stinky. Oof. Again, when this dries, this is it's applied, so it's liquid, so it's not, this is not necessarily the sheen, but you can see how uniformly it went on there. I like to take credit for the whole thing, but with the sanding sealer, it really makes it a lot easier to put a nice even finish on there, because now the finish is actually sitting on top. Okay, this should be the final coat. I mean, it looks good, but just want to make sure that it's all nice and even. Whew. See, it looks pretty, it's even all the way around. So because I now have a finish side, I'm going to use this moving blanket to cushion, to protect the finish. I can put it upside down, and so we have the mirror. Now we got some cheap glass cleaner. Take a razor blade. And we'll go over the whole thing. Give it a... Okay. There we go. Okay. Since this is going to be up on the wall, I'm going to use some of this, it's a sealant and adhesive. I'm going to use that so that the mirror doesn't make any vibration when you open and close the door. A little bit of a bead. Okay. There we go. So, there's a lot of goop on the back of this. I think they use that to kind of as a backup. Mimic what they did. Go. Wow, this thing's really heavy.